sportschatplace.com and pickdogs.com. It is Wednesday, July the 1st, 2020. We have turned the corner. We are in July. We are about 3 weeks away from major sports starting again, at least in the United States. Of course, in Europe, major sports, both of them have all started. We have soccer picks today. We've got some sports news. We're going to bring in everybody. We're going to go back to the group hug just for today only special and kind of go with all four of us on the show at once because there is a little bit of discussion going on. Of course, feel free to, visit the fridge during the soccer pick section if it's not your thing. But, that's what I generally do. But, just tons of stuff kind of going on behind the scenes here at Sports Chat Place and at Pick Dogs, and I can't wait to share it all with you. Just a lot of things as far as, with just some of the stuff we've never done in the past that, other guys have been doing. It's kind of like, oh, the other guys do this and the other guys do this. Some of the stuff that they're doing, of course, taken to a different level and done better. And then, and then we have some new features that nobody else will be doing. Zawacki's kind of going off and on today. I'm not really sure what's the matter with his internet connection because you guys know he's been freezing out the last few days while he's been speaking. So what we'll probably do is just bring everybody on, Steve and Chris. And then when Rod gets here, we will, we'll bring him on as well. But anyways, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning.
So, we've got a little bit of news going on here, and I wish Rod was here for this part. Maybe we'll stall on something else. So, Adam Silver, the first chink in the armor, as they say. We may not have NBA. It's the first mention of it, and I'm going to stay positive. I've been positive all along. Matter of fact, when the stoppage happened, I pretty much had them playing by now, right? So I've been positive all along. I've never really given into the fear factor or any of those things, but Any thoughts on what Adam Silver says? But he did say, we're staying on course, for the time being. But he did mention that, it's a possibility.
I mean, you and I have spoken about Adam Silver and our admiration for him, and as a commissioner, and he's done a great job. And this is no different. He's having a press conference. He's very forthright, and he's saying, listen, it's a possibility, and if it is, we'll adjust, or, whatever the case may be. But we also have to understand that the sports are at the mercy of the governors, of the health officials, and ultimately, the President of the United States. But the cases have been spiking. We can't deny that, and it's a concern. But Silver is very forthright, as I said. So it is what it is right now. So we got to remain optimistic, I guess, is my point.
I was hoping Rod would be on for this segment, but I guess he's having some technical difficulties, and that's okay. But NHL saying that
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you. You got to turn.
You can't see me.
Can you turn your camera on?
It is on. I don't know why. Here, let me try something. Let me turn. But if I pop, I'm gonna. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
There
he goes.
There he is.
All right, because we were just going to talk about you behind your back, but now that we know that you were sitting there, it certainly changes the course of things. Anyways, Rod and Chris especially. So now NHL is saying Canada, Toronto, and Vancouver?
Edmonton.
That was my fault.
Rod, You've been pretty vocal about these Canadian choices here, and what's the border situation? What's the quarantine situation? I know Chris is more in a metropolis in Toronto at his secret lair hideaway, and then Rod is more in the outskirts, more of the country section of Canada, the Outback or the
Of
whatever you call
Canada.
it.
The Klondike.
Yes, Yukon Cornelius. I didn't say it. I'm just saying.
For withdrew their bid. Vancouver, they totally themselves said we don't want to be in part of this discussion, and they backed out. So Vancouver withdrew. So not only in Canadian cities, you're left with Edmonton and Vancouver. Right now, Edmonton's spiking massively. They're more than Calgary. But for these spikes, hockey's not going to start for another month.
But that's what
Most of
they're
these-
saying. They're saying it's going to be the two Canadian
People
cities.
go in
That's what they're saying.
isolation for 2 weeks and come back and still play. Like,
Well, I don't think they're
We're
not
gonna have to
saying.
live with-
Well, they're not saying there's not going to be hockey, and they're not saying that. They're saying it's the two Canadian cities. I'm just wondering, like, more about what the situation is as far as quarantine, as far as you know, any of that other stuff. It's like, it's are people allowed past the border? Is there a quarantine period?
Well,
I
I mean, not to veer off course, but another sports race, the Jays were approved to have a spring training in Toronto, and there's going to be a 14-day modified quarantine. What modified quarantine means, I haven't seen yet, but I'm assuming it would be sort of the same thing. If you're going to have a training camp up here, at least, and get prepared for the tournament.
Toronto's hosted a huge deal like this before. They've hosted many World Hockey Championships and this type stuff. So Toronto's definitely equipped to hold the event. Edmonton, like I said, Edmonton, you'll be in a bubble. They have enough hotels downtown. And everything else by pedway, so you don't even have to go outside. They can just isolate them off, and away they go and do their thing. So that's why still Edmonton's is really viable there.
So, I'm not going to stereotype anybody, okay? That's not what we do here. But I am going to say that hockey players are generally, I wouldn't think that you would have these guys in a bubble. And let's just say, I used to know a guy that worked at Madison Square Garden, and he always said the boxers were the most polite of all the athletes, and the hockey players were always the worst. We saw it at the Olympics. We've seen it time and time again. Steve. Steve was also a friend of ours. Moses. He was never really known as the quiet one in the group.
Yeah.
Let's just say, and
They're a different breed.
We went to a hockey school, and let's just say the hockey players were just a little different than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, they had a different mentality, obviously, but
Hockey players are a little more cocky, is what happens.
Well, no, they're
Definitely.
also a little nuts. These guys are freaking. I mean, these guys are crazy, man. These are the guys that are like, to check this shit out, triple backflip off the balcony 3 stories into the pool.
I was just going to actually say,
those...
I swear to God, I was going to just say that. They have that mentality. You don't really have to coax them from jumping from the balcony into the pool.
Yeah. I mean, what's this bubble going to look like, and what kind of security are they going to have here? Because this could get ugly. I mean, in a hurry. There's going to be there's going to be movies about this bubble. This will be like, Ken Stabler's Snake novel. It's going to be like on that level.
There'll be bench clearing brawls in the hallways of the hotels. I can tell you that too.
Of the hotels. Oh yeah, they'll riot in the hotels. The hallways will be littered. We're getting cooped up. We're going crazy. I can see it.
It's like,
if you ever wonder where the hold my beer thing came from, it came from hockey players.
I also believe that there could be an axe throwing contest there. I mean, there could be some axe throwing. It's like,
You better believe it.
we have a strict no Jaeger policy. It's like, well, it's actually not really a policy. All right, the sign came with the building. It's like, this is basically what's going to go on at this thing. I just can't imagine 400 hockey players in a bubble. I just can't even, it's like, even in my worst days, I couldn't imagine like living in that scenario. So, yeah.
Well, they could
Hide the women and children.
Axles.
That's all I gotta say.
They could throw axes. Maybe they'll do special trips out of the bubble. They can go throw axes at Axe Monkeys in Edmonton. So
I got no idea. But hockey players in a bubble is. I mean, the NBA is going to be like the party of all parties. We know that, right? It's going to be like the NBA is going to be like the private, VIP section party. This is going to be like the frat party on steroids. Is what this is going to be. It's like there's two different things. The NBA is like the velvet rope and the section, right? And the hockey is like food fight, right? It's like,
let's just say there'll be a lot of puffing on marijuana with the NBA guys, and then the hockey will be all in Alex Ovechkin's room drinking vodka. I think that's those are the two differences, the main difference.
So we'll have more on the hockey, as it goes, and I like I said, use your wildest imagination and crank up the volume on it, because that's what a hockey bubble means to me. And it's, I don't think hockey players have changed all that much throughout the years. This is kind of like a thing that's passed on. And, we saw it at the Olympics. It wasn't that long ago. So, yeah, we do have soccer today. So what are the... I saw, I don't follow the soccer, but, on the website, I kind of scroll through the articles for the day and see what we have on tap, see what kind of games. And I did see some of the big names there, especially in Serie A, where we have, I believe Real Madrid and well, that would be Spain, right? La Liga.
Yeah.
But I saw some of the bigger names out there.
Chelsea is playing today.
Arsenal.
Yeah. Arsenal's playing today.
You go to Italy, you got AC Milan, Inter Milan. Some decent games out there today. I personally have 4 that I have for today. Rod, how many do you have?
I have 6. I have an EPL birdcage and a Serie A birdcage.
All right, let's get
what
started
happened today.
So people are trying to sell me logo face masks. Not playing that game. I'm so not into the logo or the face mask with the totally not into it. I'll just say it right now. I use the paper one. I throw them out as soon as I use it. I try, and I also, like, when I return the golf cart and stuff, I sometimes forget, about it. Not big on the mask. Anyways.
Well, they have to clean the card. They have to clean their card after you return it, anyways.
No, they clean it. They clean everything. They do awesome jobs. It's like, you got to take extra care of the people at the golf course these days. They are hurting. Anyways, what do we got, Chris? How many picks you got?
4.
How about you, Rod?
6.
All right, Rod, get us started.
Okay, I'll start with the EPL. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. I'm gonna take Bournemouth money line here. I think they eke out a win here, 1-0 over Newcastle, maybe 2-0 at the most. Give me Bournemouth money line.
Ruffalo, what do you have to say for yourself?
For me, the first one I'm going with is taking a combo of Chelsea to win and over 1.5 goals, -125. I think Chelsea's a way better team than West Ham. They're going for a top 4 spot, and I don't know where West Ham's next win is going to come from. See, it's easily being a 2-0 game, so I'll take Chelsea to win over 1.5.
There we go. Back to
I got also Chelsea. I like Chelsea too. Give me Chelsea a -1.5. I see them winning easily 2-0, 3-0. Big goals. Here we go. Give me Chelsea a -1.5 at +140.
For my next one, I'm going to go to Italy. I'm going to take AC Milan -1 against Spal. AC Milan is just, again, better team. Spal's probably going to be relegated.
I've never even heard of Spal. This is like, and we've been covering this for 14 years. I've never even heard of this team before. You're making it up. Let's just make up a team. It's like AC Milan.
You just made up that
I
team.
don't know. Spal. How about Spal? It's like-
It's the noise that came out after I sneezed, and I was like, "Hey,
this
that
is
sounds
like
good."
Art Vandelay, man. This is like
Art Vandal. I haven't heard that one in a while.
I see it being 2-0 or 3-1 AC Milan, so I'll go AC Milan -1, -140.
And the last EPL for my birdcage, I'm taking Everton to win and both teams not to score. I'm going to go Everton to win and not both teams to score at plus 330.
okay.
And for my EPL birdcage, parlay those up. Parlay Bournemouth money line, Everton to win, and both teams not to score. And Chelsea -1.5. And you'll get a plus 2,400 on that one.
More importantly, so these soccer teams, right? They seem to have no loyalty to any different colors or uniforms, right? It's like they have like 10 different uniforms, right? Each team, they could be any color they feel like being on any given day. Is that how this works? I've never understood this about soccer. I've never understood it.
Well, no, they'll usually change their home and away jerseys for every year. They'll try to keep the same sort of color scheme for the home jersey, but the away one or the alternate jersey, I've seen some really messed up.
Yeah, because Germany can be anything. Like when you do even like in the World Cup and stuff. Like Germany could be anything from white to yellow to whatever. I mean green,
Red, black.
green. I've seen it all. It doesn't even make
Yeah.
any sense to me. I mean, in the NFL, the guy wears like a different colored cleat. It's it's a federal offense. I don't.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Never will.
Yeah, me neither. I don't understand why the Dolphins ever changed their helmets, man. It's beyond.
Ugh, don't even get me started on that.
Doesn't even make sense to me. It's like
Drives me crazy.
fins up. It's like
The old logo is way,
way better.
way
Way
Not
better.
even close.
It,
Oh,
does,
yeah.
it doesn't even make any sense.
no. It doesn't even look like a dolphin anymore. Put the helmet back on his head. We like the helmet on his head.
Exactly. I mean, who doesn't like a fish with a helmet on his head?
With a helmet on his head.
Chris, speaking of fish with helmets on their heads, Chris.
That might be my favorite one yet.
It just set itself right up. You know?
With
Just
the
serve
1
'em.
second delay and everything, it was perfect.
Just
Good
serve-
delivery.
Just serve them up.
The last one to finish off my birdcage. I'm going to go Inter Milan to win and under 3.5 goals against Brescia. Again, Brescia's probably going to be relegated. Inter Milan's just a better team. I can see it being 2-1. Should be 2-0 or 3-0. I'll take Inter to win under 3.5 at plus 135. So parlay those up. Chelsea to win over 1.5. AC Milan -1 against Spal, and Inter to win and under 3.5 goals. Should be plus 625.
I think we should take a poll in the Facebook group that the puck dogs during college football, doing their college football bird cages, should wear the leather helmets. I believe that they should. just for their bird, not for the whole show, just the bird cage segment. We'll go to the leather helmet.
Just pull up the Lee Corso.
Well, I'll wear it too. We'll all do it.
And then the one, and then if they can graduate to the 1-bar face mask.
No, I'll be the 4 horsemen. We'll all wear the leather helmet. We'll superimpose the horses. I'll get someone to do a graphic. We'll put our faces in the thing. Yeah. All right, we can do that.
Sure.
So, what? Any more picks here? Any more soccer
Yeah,
picks?
I'll go through my Syria birdcage real quick. Taking Bologna money line. AC Milan. I'm going to take the first half a draw. And I'm adding one game that's not till tomorrow, but I really like it. Into the birdcage at Atlanta -1 tomorrow. Parlay those 3 up, and you get a plus 843. Really like that one. Maybe Bologna money line, AC Milan draw first half, and at Atlanta tomorrow -1.
And my lone value play out of La Liga today, I like Levante, my money line +220. Just don't know why they're this much of a dog, but I'll take it. I'll take +220.
All right. We all good?
Yep.
All right, Chris. You're up.
So, Canada Day today. I just want to keep it quick. I just want to tell everybody be safe today.
Wait, is the pillow behind you in case you feel like taking a nap during the
Yeah.
show? Here, I'll let you go.
Just Canada Day today. Everyone just sort of be careful, take care of yourselves. There are a lot of Canadian content in our Facebook group and on the watch the show. But be careful. We had an errant firework last night, so I'm recovering from that a little bit today. But everyone just be careful. Alcohol and fireworks don't necessarily always mix.
They don't.
Ask Jason Pierre-Paul. Rod?
Yeah, happy Canada Day to all the Canadians out there. Be smart. If you live in Quebec, don't drive all the way across the country to Alberta to come camping. Are you serious? Like, I don't know where some people think, where their heads are. I can drive all the way across Canada on a 4-day road to come to Alberta. Really? Not a good idea. Like, let's be smart about this. I know we have to live with this. We're going to end up living with this for the rest of our lives. But coming to Alberta on a road trip in the middle, bad idea. Sorry, I hate Calgary, but now I hate Quebec even more. At least 4 or 5 cars from Quebec on Monday in Medicine Hat. Like, what are you thinking? Wow. Happy Canada Day, everybody. Stay in your own province.
All right, Steve, you're up.
All right. Well, today is Happy Bobby Bonilla Day here in America. So Bobby Bonilla last played for the New York Mets in 1999. He was owed $5.9 million. The Mets were going to buy him out. And the Mets were in bed with Bernie Madoff, who, for our audience, it was the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of the country. And the Mets decided to do a deal with Bonilla starting in 2011 that they would defer this money. And then there was an 8% interest rate and et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, from 2011 until Bobby Bonilla is 72 years old in 2035, Bobby Bonilla will make $1.19 million every July 1st. And then, we had discussed Major League Baseball salaries a few weeks ago, when the average salary of guys is 400, 500,000, whatever the case may be. But my point is, I just wanted to bring that up. Every July 1st is Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Anyone that watched this year's Super Bowl knows that Patrick Mahomes won the MVP, and he was probably the 3rd best player in that game. Damian Williams pretty much ran wild and dictated the offensive pace in that game, but on defense, it was Chris Jones in the backfield all day long, busting up a way overmatched Jimmy Garoppolo. And that really is what turned it. When San Francisco needed to score points at the end of the game, when they needed to put the Chiefs away, when they needed to get a first down, Chris Jones was absolutely unblockable. So you don't pay the guy because he plays defensive line. I don't even understand this. It's like I'm always against the big contract, but it's like this guy, you let him slip away, you're making a serious mistake. Write this guy a check, give him the half that. If I was Patrick Mahomes when I took that MVP trophy, I would have broken it in half like Magic did and given half to this guy because he was certainly the MVP of that game. He's certainly a key piece to that Chiefs defense, as we saw in the game against the Titans where they were trailing when Jones was sitting on the sideline. He came into the game, and all of a sudden they were in the Super Bowl. Anyways, we'll bring everybody back. And one thing we didn't talk about, Cam Newton signing with the Patriots. We never really discussed this. It happened on Monday. But no one takes guys like this and turns them into like 2 to 3 year superstars like Bill Belichick. Nobody does it. He did it with Corey Dillon. He did it with Chad Brown, linebacker. He's done it over and over and over again. I don't know. Cam Newton has always had the physical tools, not always the head for it, but definitely has always had the physical tools. He's been banged up and hit and everything over the last several years. New England, they probably figured out a way to block for him, at least a little better than anything that he's seen in quite some time. He also takes a lot of late hits. And
He sure ain't gonna run the ball like he was before. That's for sure. I don't see him running. He'll run a little bit to keep people honest, but I don't see him running like he was. He'll be a game control management.
It'll be interesting to see how the mistakes are tolerated, and if there's a little bit of controversy for Stidham in here, and or if Stidham, if there's a controversy for Newton, there's going to be some unrest there at the quarterback position because you have two guys that make a lot of mistakes. Is what you have. You have two guys that make tons of mistakes, so it should be really, really interesting in New England. I still think the Bills are the team to beat in that division. I think Miami is probably second. Anyways, anything else?
And now you can get Bills at plus money. It's swapped. They got Patriots as favorite again.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm all in on the Bills in the AFC East this year. There's no question.
The Bills are now nice plus money. I've seen them at plus 150.
All right. Well, have a good Canada Day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. And, man, one day closer to real sports coming back. Maybe we'll start doing the ticker tomorrow. Have a great day.
Hey.